Hi and welcome to the Monday Recorded. Just a different backdrop here. I've left the backdrop up for this recording, so you'll have to excuse me for that. Now, why am I here? Well, I'm off to Tunisia. I should be in Tunisia by now. I'm there for quite some time, a couple of weeks. So I'm recording this one, but of course the next Monday is a bank holiday, and then I've got a week's holiday. So you won't see me for a long time. I hope you won't miss me too much. Those of you on the site, of course, you'll have all the normal quizzes if you fancy those. I'm recording the Wednesday, just coming up. That'll be another experiment. Thanks for the feedback with the first one. There was mostly, people quite enjoyed it, but I think they're quite happy not to have that again. So we'll try another one. I've got an idea for more obvious ones though in the future where I will be able to just maybe record 4 of us playing, or maybe even just record some matches in advance which aren't even played live, and maybe get a balance, maybe bring some pairs in again, which I think some people might enjoy. So maybe once every month or every couple of months doing a pairs game rather than a teams game and experimenting with that. So hopefully you'll all have a good Easter. When are we back? Well, I'm back for the 11th for playing teams. That's for the members. But the next Monday I'm back is the 15th of April. Seems a long time, doesn't it? But a couple of weeks away for the Easter holidays, etc. So I hope you have a good time. I think the weather's supposed to be good where I am anyway, so we shall see. Don't want to speak too loudly. We are defence at the moment, counting defence, another tough one today. And then we are moving on to opening distributional hands. So that is April's topic, opening distributional hands. We should have some fun with that. I will say to the members that it is a monster seminar. And then one of the lovely things with the recorded seminars, you can take your time on it, so you don't have to take it all in one go. But I have a feeling it's closer to an hour and 15 than an hour, but we'll see. But hopefully some good ideas and some real meat for you to get your teeth into there. And then we'll have a little chat about it on the last 2 or 3 Mondays of the month. Fridays, we're still responding to overcalls, getting closer to the end of that topic. And then we may move on to some play. We'll see. That'll be quite exciting as we move on through the year. What have we got in terms of events? Well, you can see it all on the holiday website. Our usual Denham Grove events, Blunsdon House. So you've got your pick, really. And Mallorca, Croatia you've got as well. There's a lovely Canaries one there. We're advertising a few later in the year, actually. There's one in November there with Lynn. And Christmas on board ship. That looks pretty exciting to me. So there's plenty of things to look for, as well as our regulars, both around the country and abroad. So we are looking at the 5-level decision, I think. Let me see if I can bring that up. Some of you will have already seen this as a cliffhanger from last Friday. Well, last Thursday. I nearly said Friday. I did say Friday, but I actually did the Friday live on Thursday, of course. Bear in mind, I haven't done that yet because I'm recording this, so it gets a bit complicated in my mind. Okay, let's have a look and see how the auction goes and see whether what we think. 1 heart it went, and then 1 spade from you, which I think is reasonable. 2 hearts. Your partner jumped to 4 clubs here. Now, we've discussed on Friday fit jumps, and I think that's what they're playing here. Now, you don't have to. You can play that as a splinter if you want, but they are playing fit jumps. So that 4 club bid is an unnecessarily jump, as it were, and it's used to show long clubs and spade support. Okay, then goes 4 hearts. You bid just 4 spades because, you've got lovely clubs with your partner. The problem comes when it goes 5 hearts. Now, North is non-vulnerable and you are vulnerable. So that's an interesting one, isn't it? So it is 1 spade 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 hearts, 4 clubs, a fit jump. So that's a fit jump in competition. 4 hearts, 4 spades, pass, 5 hearts. So that's quite an auction, and you've got a decision to make. You're vulnerable against not. So good luck with that. In the meantime, let's wander over to the seminar. So I've got to press the button, of course. There you go. Counting defence it is, and we've been doing this all week, and as you know, some of it is a little bit okay. I'm hoping today I'm going to exhibit a couple of hands that are within range. I think some of the ones we've done already really took a huge amount of mental energy because they carry on going throughout the hand. If you're lucky enough that your counting pays dividends early, then the level of brain power is less. Let me show you what I mean. So a reminder why we use count signals, when to play your high cards. We're going to look at that later on, actually. I'll show you an example with all 4 hands showing. Okay. Roughing, of course, haven't shown you much of that, but I mean, most of us know when partner leads a high-low, he's got a doubleton, and therefore we can give him a rough. But the thing we've been trying to focus on is counting declarers' hands, using the bids and any count signals. On this particular occasion, we're going to get there possibly even before a count signal comes, so we'll see. So this, in a sense, is counting the declarer's hand without even needing a count signal. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, when do we use them? Just a quick reminder, that's on declarer's lead, when declarer leads from dummy or from hand. Okay, we did see another subtle example of it, but just a reminder, high shows an even number. When you follow with your lowest card, you're showing an odd number. It's got to be your lowest. So if you've got 7, 16, remember you're following suit, not leading. I can't emphasize that enough. Clearly, I would not lead the 2 of clubs from that holding, but I'm following suit. And in hearts, I wouldn't play my highest, but I'd make it distinct. So the 7 of hearts is a nice card to play there. And getting into the habit of doing this is quite valuable. Okay. Here's the hand I'm going to give you as an example on the PowerPoint here. So both hands have 13 cards, which is good news. East-West are vulnerable. It goes 1 heart, 1 spade. We can't see South's hand. Obviously, we can see the dummy. We're going to pass. 2 diamonds from South. What would you bid with that North hand? You've got a heart fit. I think 4 hearts looks reasonable. I know it's only 12, but it's a good 5-card spade suit, good heart support. I think it's worth going for game. Okay, you could jump to 3 hearts if you prefer, and then you might make it. Okay, your partner's on lead. Let's start accumulating the information now, because that's crucial. And again, from the bidding, you're expecting South to have 5 hearts and 4 or more diamonds. Another way of looking at that is that most of the time, South will only have 4 cards between spades and clubs. Okay. So your partner leads the 2 of spades. What do you think? What is your partner doing? Well, he's heard the spade bid. He clearly hasn't got strength in it. And in a way, this is a count signal. Because if your partner had led a doubleton, he would have led high. The 2 of spades cannot be from 3 cards because partner would never lead his lowest. Notice, never lead his lowest if he didn't have an honour. And he hasn't. We can see the ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9. So that has to be a singleton. And the beauty of that is that fills the picture of South's hand. Can you see that? Okay. So we think South has 5 hearts and let's say 4 diamonds. Well, if our partner has a singleton spade, then South has 3. Can you see the picture growing? 5, 4, 3 leaves 1 club. Could be a void. Could be a void. So the hand could be 5, 5. There could be 5 hearts, 5 diamonds, and 3 spades. But the point is there's no more than one club. Does that make sense? Okay, so of course that's going to be crucial. I mean, I'll play the hand through. Let's see what happens. De Clara wins the ace and draws a couple of rounds of trumps. And what's interesting at this point is that when he draws the second round, he has drawn your partner's last trump. Can you see that? So at this point, there's no point trying to give your partner a ruff. We know South's got 5 hearts. We had 3. Our partner just had 2. So you have no urgency to be on lead. So De Clara leads a club. And the computer got this wrong. He played low. And a lot of people would. If you haven't made the calculation about South's hand, why wouldn't you play low? You want your ace to try and kill a high card. But here we know that De Clara has a singleton club. Or it could be a void. That's fine. But if he's got a void, my partner's got the king and queen, so I can waste my ace anyway. But I'm playing the ace just in case it's a singleton king. Okay? And that's the end of that. No excitement beyond that, but I did manage to make the contract. When East ducked that club, I was able to scrape home, collecting a few tricks on the way. So it's quite interesting. We've counted the hand. There it is. You can see the South hand there. I hope you're happy with that. 5, 4, 3, 1. I made East-West vulnerable. You might have noticed that in the original slide, so that West didn't make a bid, and he's quite right not to. If he'd been non-vulnerable against vulnerable opponents, he might have decided. I'm not sure it's very good, but he might have decided to come in with a jump over call or something. I don't think it's a good bid, but it works out okay here. Okay, but just by counting the hand, you knew there was a singleton king. So, quick reminder. When to play high cards, roughing and counting De Clara's hand. Now, I wanted to show you, just to add to the seminar, I'll just move that on one. To add to the seminar, I wanted to show you this next hand. So let's just bring it up. I'm going to open all the hands, if that's all right, and then just have it like that. Okay, so this is the hand. Let's quickly go through the auction, and we are going to be defending. And the reason I wanted to show you this was to show how valuable it is to take your ace at the right time. So South opened a club. It then went 1 diamond from North. We didn't bother overcalling a spade with the East hand. Okay. 1 no trump is enough with that hand. 17, but 4, 3, 3, 3. But North with... again 4, 3, 3, 3, but with Queen, Jack, 10, 9 of diamonds, decided to bid 3 no trumps. And they've got plenty of points between them, 27 points between. So West is on lead and leads the Queen of Hearts. Okay. De Clara may well duck that. Okay, but let's see what De Clara's plan is. He's got 3 spades. He's got 2 hearts, that's 5, and the ace of clubs is 6. He can knock out the ace of diamonds for 9 tricks. If he's playing pairs, though, he wants over tricks. His over tricks are likely to come from the club suit. Okay. So let's say he decides to duck a heart first. Maybe East. We're sitting East, we play the 10. And then we play another heart. West leads another heart. His original 4th highest can help, telling us he's got 4. De Clara wins and leads a diamond. We duck that. And we watch partners play. Partner plays his lowest diamond. So we're placing partner with 3 diamonds. 3, 3, 3, 4. Now, what is the point of holding up in diamonds? Okay, so let's say De Clara plays another one. Why not play your ace? Because you can see there's an entry to dummy here. But it's important because it's something in bridge we call a tempo. If you win the ace of clubs there, South would unblock his king. So the ace of diamonds, I should say. South would unblock his king And then there's still 2 entries to dummy. And I'll show you what would happen. Here, all that would happen is we'll knock out the ace of hearts. Okay, well, South will carry on playing diamonds, so we'll play a spade, hoping that partner's got something in spades, but he hasn't. Now what does de Clower do? To get to his winner, to lead clubs, he has to cross to the ace of hearts, but then, of course, by the time he leads clubs, West will have lots of winners. So he's a little bit stuck here. He'll make his contract, of course he will, but I don't think he's going to make those over tricks that he'd love to make. Does that make sense? So ducking the diamond hasn't cut de Clower off from the diamonds, but look what happens. I mean, let's see what happens. Let's say you put the ace up now. De Clower unblocks the king. You switch to spades again. De Clower can win, but he's still got stoppers everywhere. So he can afford to cross in diamonds, take his diamond winner. Can we throw a club there? But he can play clubs, and he's going to be able to play clubs twice. So he plays clubs, and the most sensible way to play clubs is to finesse the 9. The king wins. De Clower's got an extra tempo. He's been able to get to dummy in diamonds. Yes, we can knock out the ace of hearts there. Okay, but de Clower may well take a gamble, and I think it's probably right to take a gamble here. Okay, does that make sense? It is a gamble. Greed is good, though. You'd be really unlucky to find West with the king and queen here. Okay, so if he does take that gamble, it pays off, and of course he makes an over trick. So let me just finish that hand by taking all the winners, and then we can just look at it again, and it's subtle. Basically what's happening here is that, as I say, most of the hands I will show you, there'll be no entry next to the long suit, and so we know how important it is to cut de Clower off. However, even if there's entries here, North has plenty of entries to make his diamond. But so often taking your ace on the right round, so here, waiting till the 3rd round, means that de Clower will be 1 tempo behind. That's the term that we often use in bridge. Okay, so de Clower could have chosen to play a club earlier, but then he couldn't be going down. Okay, because if he takes a club and then another heart is led knocking out the last heart, then, how's he, 1, going to get to diamonds later, and 2, he may well lose the whole heart suit. So he's got to play diamonds. So if we duck to the 3rd round, then he's only got 1 entry left to dummy. And to be honest, he will end up just sticking to 9 tricks. Of course, some de Clowers won't take the gamble against you and may well just settle for 9 tricks anyway. But here, having finessed the 9 of clubs on the 3rd round of diamonds, you're then able to cross over and take another finesse. Of course, I suppose you could say, if East didn't have any of the high clubs, he might deliberately take the ace of diamonds and give North the chance to take 2 finesses. Now, that would be cunning. But the key is, by timing your plays correctly, you put the pressure on de Clower. Hopefully that makes some sense. So that is counting defense. It is awesomely difficult. There are aspects that we can all do. There are some aspects that are much more difficult. Hopefully we'll play around with it in the various teams that we do in the future coming months. Obviously not in the next few weeks, but we'll look at it and see if we can keep doing that and getting better and better at counting. Okay. Let's go back to where we were with this. This is our 5-level decision. I'll have to just quickly go through it again. We said 1 heart, 1 spade. Oh dear. Okay. Dear, that's annoying. 2 hearts because I've taken control of South. That's my bad. Okay. 2 hearts, 4 clubs we saw. And that was defined as a fit jump. A fit jump. So those of you who've been following our Fridays or Thursday, as it were, that last week, will have heard me discuss that. So it shows clubs and spades. We bid 4 spades here. It then went pass 5 hearts. It's tricky, isn't it? Tricky. What's your partner got? Well, I'd expect him to have a lot of clubs. He'll have some number of hearts because the opponents look as though they might have a 10-card fit, but they might only have 9. We're not sure. Generally, if in doubt, when you've got a double fit and you've gone for game, your vulnerable 650 looks pretty juicy. It's very tricky though. Will it? I mean, it all depends, if I'm honest, on how much shape you think your partner's got. If he's 6-4 in the blacks, he's likely to have a singleton diamond. And that's the kind of shape I'd probably want him to be. He's bid 4 clubs vulnerable. That's committing us to game. Okay, that is committing us to a game contract. If he was something like 5-4-2-2, that's not shapely enough to do it. So I would suspect that most of the time he will have that singleton diamond, and I would also suspect that we would have running clubs and running spades. So I am going to bid 5 spades. It is my job to do that. It is not partner's. Partner has defined his hand. Let me show you what I mean. And again, someone mentioning that it's difficult to have these agreements in untried partnerships. Of course it is. This is for a tried partnership where West and East are playing fit jumps opposite overcalls. And the worse the vulnerability, like here, clearly the vulnerability is not vulnerability where you'd want to be sacrificing. This kind of vulnerability is when you're bidding serious hands. West's 4 club bid is brilliant. Now, I generally teach splinters, particularly opposite opening bids. Okay, so I tend to focus on those, but opposite an overcall, a jump bid is not unreasonably played as a fit jump, and it can be so valuable in hands like this. You've heard me talk about these so often when double fits. If you've got a double fit, go for it. As I say, if you move the 4 of clubs into diamonds here, okay, you are looking at a much flatter hand, which opposite an overcall cannot guarantee that a game is very sensible. Whereas here, those of you who count losers, just a 6 loser hand, even opposite a weak overcall, you've got a very good chance of making game here. Okay, so if you take the king of clubs away, I'd expect to make 4 spades. Now, we wouldn't be bidding on to 5 spades because he wouldn't have the double fit. Okay, if that makes sense. But I hope you can see that here, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if they don't take the first 2 tricks, you've got 11 tricks off the top, 6 clubs and 5 spades, and we'll make a rough. Probably, maybe if they led the ace of diamonds and the king of diamonds, you could rough and make the rest. But if they lead the ace of hearts, more likely, obviously. Well, I suppose South might lead the king of diamonds, but he'll see dummy and they'll switch to hearts, and they will take the king of diamonds and the ace of hearts, and that's it. We will make the rest 650 points. How does 5 hearts do? 5 hearts would have been just 1 off. Just 1 off. Could North have just jumped to 5 hearts? I don't think it matters here. I think in many ways, because North knows East is bidding 4 spades, maybe he is best off bidding 5 hearts and getting it over and done with there, or introducing the second suit. Because if he introduces the second suit here, if North bids 4 diamonds, I prefer to have a 5-card suit for this sort of showing the second suit. But you can see here that South might be encouraged to bid 6 hearts. With a double fit of their own, 6 hearts, just 2 off, is only costing 300 points. So that's interesting, isn't it? And maybe that's more of a team's decision. Not sure. It's always a fine line when Easter's bid on to 5 spades. Are you that sure it's making? Well, from South's point of view, if North shows diamonds, well, then he's sort of thinking, well, it's not going to be a surprise if they've got a singleton in hearts and singleton in diamonds, which they have. So it's an interesting one. But yes, 6 hearts is a fantastic sacrifice. So well done if anybody manages to bid that. I suppose I could have put that in the next 5-level decision or 6-level decision. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. We are going to finish with a bidding quiz. So let's have a quick look at that. There we go. It's on a theme. We've been following this theme, haven't we? 1 spade, 2 no trumps overcall. The unusual 2 no trumps showing both minors. 3 spades. Both sides are vulnerable. Both sides are vulnerable. 1 spade, 2 no trumps, 3 spades. You can find the answer on the site, whether you're a member or not. And don't forget, there will still be a bidding quiz each week. So even when I'm not here on Monday, whether it's a bank holiday or the Easter holiday, as it were, then you can still have a go at the bidding quiz. So please do that. And on the site, of course, there'll be all of the other quizzes as well for you to play around with. So good luck with all of that. I hope that you all have a good Easter, that your gardens start sprouting, as it were, and the flowers start blooming, and the weather gets warmer. Let's hope by the time I'm back that you will all be wearing 1 fewer layer. How's that? As I say, the topic we're moving on to is opening distributional hands. That is in April, and that's quite fun. So we're going to move off the intensity of defense. So don't forget, not back until the 15th, I don't think, on Monday, but I am back. I've got a recorded event, as it were, on Wednesday, and then we come back on the 11th. So thank you for your company. I'm just going to move on to the last bit of our seminar, which is on novices. Novices play. Partner of the leader. Let's remind us where we were. So we said, how do we know how to play the right card? Well, usually when partner leads, we play our highest card. We are third hand. Partner's the first hand to lead. Dummy will be the second. We are third hand. So that's what third hand plays high means. And if in doubt, you play your highest card. We have seen that there are times where we don't. If there's a high card in dummy, sometimes that affects us. And also, if you've got touching cards, you would play the lowest of touching. That's a couple of lessons back. On this particular lesson, though, we're sticking with this idea of what happens next. It's all well and good winning a trick or playing a high card. What do we do next? So let's look at this club suit. Your partner leads a small one, and you do as you're told. You play your highest club. You're hoping to win the trick. Your partner, after all, might have the ace. Unfortunately, the king loses to the ace. However, what I need you to do is remember which suit was led, because remember, your partner is choosing generally to lead his strongest and longest suit. So it makes sense to keep that suit in your mind so that you will lead it back. Okay. So when you get the lead, your first thought should be to lead your partner's suit. As we will see in the gamut of bridge, as it were, the whole scope of bridge, there are tremendously different reasons for doing X, Y, and Z. But we need some basic rules that we can fall back on. As we get better at a game, we can think outside the box, as it were. But inside the box is the rule that says, if in doubt, lead your partner's suit back. Last week, we won the first trick with the ace, and we simply led it straight back. On this occasion, we haven't won the first trick. Our king lost. Okay, so defense is really difficult. You've just got to accept that. But what I want to really get across to you is that it is the most exciting element of the game. There's so much to learn it. So here I've given you a hand. They're on your right. the east hand. The centre of the table is where the northeast, southwest is. You've got the green bays there. Dummy is the hand at the top. Now let's imagine we're playing mini bridge and South declared more points than anybody else, okay? So he ended up being declarer and he chose to play in 3 no trumps. The reason I'm doing this is that we don't have the complication of the bidding to start things off. So South is nominating to make 9 tricks in 3 no trumps. Your partner, as we've seen, led a club and we put the king on and declarer killed that king with the ace. Declarer's got some lovely hearts because you play on your highest club at trick 1. Declarer's got some lovely hearts, so he leads hearts back. The king is played from dummy and you kill it with your ace. Okay. Now, only 1 trick has gone. So 2 tricks, sorry, the first trick and then the second. So I'm hoping you can still remember what was led. Sometimes it's a bit more tricky. You might have to wait until trick 6 and then remembering the first trick can be more daunting. But here, as long as you remember what happened at trick 1, your partner led a club and he chooses his best suit generally. So our job is to lead that suit back. Doesn't really matter which one you lead back. Generally, as we'll discuss and we've talked about before, a top of a doubleton. So if you've ever got 2 cards in a suit, generally you play the higher. And it's just so that you can have a chat with partner, really. So you would lead the 7, but as you're going to see, it doesn't make any difference on this. Okay, it goes Jack and Queen. So there's no surprise, partner has led a strong suit, so he's got the Queen. So we sacrificed our king, it lost to the ace. We've done it for a good reason. So your partner carries on with the 10. And declarer discards. So there was no surprise that partner had the Queen. And in a way, there was no surprise that partner had a long suit. He didn't just have 4 this time. He had 5 clubs. So he's led his longest suit. And he's managed to develop it because after the 10 of clubs, there's only 1 person who's got clubs left. Remember, declarer nominated no trumps, so he cannot stop our partner playing the 8 of clubs, followed by the 2 of clubs. So it means that we have taken 5 tricks. So let me show you the full hand there. Your partner started with 5 clubs. He led a club. You sacrificed your king to knock out declarer's ace. Later on, you won the ace of hearts and you led a club back. Partner's queen killed the jack, 10 killed the 9, and he then made 2 more. So we made 4 club tricks and the ace of hearts. Isn't that lovely? If you don't do that, if you don't play the clubs, of course, declarer's got plenty of tricks. He needed to knock out the ace. He was very wise there. He worked that out. He had 4 diamond tricks and 2 spade tricks and 1 club trick, but that's only 7 tricks. If he took all his winners, he would actually go 2 down. So he did the right thing, declarer. He tried to establish the king, queen, jack of hearts, or queen, jack, 10 as it were. He played to the king of hearts. When the ace won that, fleetingly, South thought he was going to make, because he had 3 heart winners, 4 diamond winners, 2 spades winners, and a club winner. That's 10. But of course, because his ace of clubs had gone, we call that a stopper. He didn't have a stopper left in clubs, which allowed West to run the suit and take him down. So declarer did his best. Actually, going 1 off is reasonable. If declarer had what I call lose trickophobia, as in he didn't want to lose a trick, he would have just taken 7 tricks. 4 diamonds, the ace king of spades, and the ace of clubs. And he would have gone 2 off. So you've got to develop your tricks, even if sometimes it results in going down. So I hope you enjoyed that. That again is the partner of the leader playing his highest card and remembering to lead back the suit that partner led. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a lovely Easter and hopefully do some wonderful things. I will return for this Monday novice session on the 15th of April. Seems a long way away. So as I say, have a lovely Easter and see you again soon.